Hey coaches, I hope you are having an amazing day, that you have made it through cardio flow. Oh my gosh, that one always kills me. Today we're going to talk about leverage and how you're going to use that for Autumn's group. And how this is going to not only get you into that group, but it's also going to grow your team. And this is something that is fantastic. You can do this anytime there's some kind of company event going on. This was something I really first noticed that I was able to really dig into once we had those, the app contest. Of course, I can't remember it now, where people had to log their Shakeology and the health bet. That's what it was. So anyways, this is something that has worked really well for me in the past. Every time we've had a company something that I could just leverage, because here's what happens. You can always set your own group rules, and I do highly encourage you to do that as you develop as a coach. But I know as a new coach, sometimes we don't always want to tell people you have to have a challenge pack to get into this group. That can not always be something that's really easy to do as a new coach. But when we're using something like Autumn's group coming up, those are rules that were set out of our control. It's not like we can just say, oh, don't worry, I'll shoo you into the group. We can't do that because they actually have to be approved in by corporate. So they have to follow those rules. So what are we going to do to get people into that group and get them excited about it? Because that's where things get really fun, is when you're sharing this journey, not only with like the new people you meet in these groups, which is awesome, but with the people that you are supporting, that are supporting you, that mean a lot to you. When you have a friend doing this with you, wow, that's so exciting. And you can get a whole bunch of people joining you for it. I mean, there's no reason you couldn't get 5 to 10 people between now and the 23rd to sign up as a coach with a challenge pack to get into Autumn's group with you. You could get more than that too, but I mean, realistically, the majority of people could easily do that. And I know you might be like rolling your eyes like, I've never sponsored a coach before. That's like impossible. It's not actually. It's one of those things where as soon as you flip your mindset and you go, I'm going for this, I'm going to share this, and I'm going to really get out there and make this happen, you can. So, I mean, this could easily be the one tip that gets you from a new coach or an emerald to diamond. You can be diamond by the time we start that group, and that is my hope for everybody watching this. Yes, I want you to get into that group because it's going to be amazing and we're going to learn a lot of training tips, but why not get in that group going, yeah, I just got my shiny diamond, because that's exciting. So, okay, so here's how we're going to do it, because you're probably going, okay, well, what do I actually do? So we got to first off get people excited about it. So if you're a coach, I hope that you've been sharing on your social media what you've been doing, what this group has been like, what your results have been like, what the results of other people in this group have been like. That's really important, that we're always sharing what's happening with this kind of thing. And I know that can be really scary if you're a new coach to share what you're doing, because you can feel a little bit vulnerable about it. But if you wanted this change, other people you know, other friends you have will want this too. It's something like health and fitness is something everybody needs in their life, that everybody, I mean, most people struggle with, right? So when you find something that works, we naturally want to share it, right? It's just like if you found like the world's best toaster that never burns one side, it's always evenly and perfectly toasted, you're going to tell everybody about that freaking toaster. And this is the exact same thing when we find something that we love in any area of life, including health and fitness. The one thing you got to kind of get out of your own way with is like, oh gosh, I'm getting paid for this. Yes, you are, because you earned it if somebody has had their life changed by you. And the one thing that really helped that I heard before was your paycheck directly reflects how many people you're helping. So that number becomes a really positive thing instead of oh, I'm making money off of people. It's I'm helping change people's lives. And this is the proof, because you can give people tips and tricks all day long. That's fantastic. go for that. But I know somebody's going to have the best results possible when they do one of our programs if they're drinking Shakeology, and I know that they're getting that dense dose of nutrition, because I can't control what they put in their mouths the rest of the day, but I know if they're at least drinking Shakeology once a day, they're getting something powerful, healthy for their body. So these are things that you got to keep in mind. If you have that icky mindset about selling, get it out of your mind, because we're not out there to make a sale. We're out there to change a life. The sale is just kind of the aftermath of getting somebody to join you on this. And as soon as you accept that, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this. I can change people's lives. The sale is the outcome. It's not the goal. That's what's going to come from this. So it's all about your mindset with it. So if you're not yet, this is the time to start sharing what's going on. If you haven't shared it all on your social media about doing 80-day obsession yet, you're going to kind of do a coming out of the closet post about doing 80-day obsession. And, this is going to be different for each and every one of you, but to give you an example of how that might come out. Hey guys, I can't believe I haven't really said anything about this yet, but I was a little bit embarrassed that I got on this journey because enter reason. I gained a lot of weight with my last pregnancy. I had a stressful year last year. My eating got off track. I haven't been fit in a long time. I haven't done anything since high school, and I really needed to have more energy. Your reason. You fill in the blank with your reason. And I saw this program. Maybe your coach invited you, maybe your friend invited you, whatever the case may be, fill in the blank. Like, I saw this program on TV or whatever it was. And I decided that I wanted to do it and give it a shot and see what I could do. And I've been so surprised that, fill in the blank with the results you've had so far, that I'm on day 63, that I've followed the meal plan to a T, that maybe you've lost a certain amount of pounds, maybe a certain amount of inches, maybe you fit into a size pair of pants that you haven't fit into in 10 years. Whatever that's really meaningful to you, maybe include all of that information if you've done multiple things. Maybe your cholesterol's down, maybe your blood pressure's better. There's so many different wins we get from this. Don't just focus on like losing weight, because that's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. That's great. Maybe you lost 30 pounds. Wow, that's amazing. But that's not all there is to that. And you know this now because you know you're sleeping better, your skin looks better, you feel better, you have more energy. All these things matter. So share the multiple wins. Share what's been really exciting about it for you. And then in that post, you can go, I'm on the last 3 weeks. I'm so excited. I'm actually going to be doing another round. And why don't you guys join me for it? If you're interested in trying this out, it's been so amazing. Drop a comment and I'll be in touch with more details about how this works. Just something gentle invite-wise, so that you're kind of introducing your Facebook to the fact that you're doing it. Because if they didn't know and then you just started dropping random like before and after photos, be it yourself or anybody else, they're going to be like, why are they suddenly posting this stuff? So you got to introduce the reason why you're doing it, especially if you're a new coach and they're not used to you sharing these kind of things. Because I know a lot of you signed up specifically to get into this group. So share that kind of thing. And that's going to be the introduction. Now, if you have been sharing regularly, fantastic. We're going to keep up that momentum. Remember to keep posting stuff about your personal life too. And one thing that I noticed a couple people doing, because a few people have asked me to look at their social media and give them some tips, don't overshare on a lot of stuff. Because this is something that happens and then your posts get lost. So I've seen somebody and they'll do like an invite on their social media, and then they'll like share like 6 posts from different pages, those funny videos or like the little documentaries or political posts or whatever the case may be. And then in a given day, they've got 15 posts and nobody has seen the invite post because they've posted so many things. So you really want to think about what you're posting and keep it in kind of the 3 to 5 posts a day range so that people see what you're doing instead of it just getting buried. And there's a really good rule of thumb that I want to say Bonnie Engel gave this advice before, but that when somebody goes to your social media page, within 3 scrolls of your mouse that, or on your phone, that they can tell that, you know, you're doing health and fitness stuff, that they can join you, and that you're a coach, and that they could join you for that as well. That these things are evident without being like the only things that we're seeing. So we want to see who you are as an individual. That's important too. Hi, Brenda. So sadly, no traction with my warm invites. Okay, so let's dive into that a little bit, because that's a really good thing to bring up. So I'd love to hear, Brenda, a little more about like what's happening with the invites. So are we just flat out sending them a message like, you know, hey Joe, I hope you've been having a great day. I've been doing this 80-day obsession program and I've been having an amazing time. Maybe you want to join me for the next round. Is it something like that? Or are we having a longer conversation and then bringing it up and getting objections? Give me an idea of what's happening there, and we'll kind of dive into that a little bit more as we get into this. So off of the posts, so you've got people seeing what you're doing, because this is important. If you just invite and they didn't know you were doing anything, it's usually like, oh, had no idea you were doing that. That's weird. It just feels that way. So it's important that you're dropping these things into your social media. So when we get into actual one-on-one conversations, maybe you're messaging people who liked your posts about 80-day obsession, the before and afters, maybe somebody who commented like, wow, that's amazing, or whatever the case may be. If we're messaging them, then it can be like, hey, I hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for liking my post about that 80-day obsession transformation. It really means a lot to me. I've put in so much hard work and it's so nice to see it's paying off. I feel amazing. Just opens up the door for the conversation, thanks them for taking the time to like your comment. And then I like to go in with a conversation, like question, something like that after, you know, what made you like my post? Because sometimes they're going to divulge a little bit of information at that point, like, oh, I've been looking to lose 20 pounds, or you just look like you have so much energy and I've been so tired lately. They're going to give you something to hold on to at that point that you can move forward with. The other option you can do is move off topic and then come back later to it. Sometimes it depends on who you are. Sometimes that feels weird. But if you are comfortable doing that, you can move into forming family, occupation, recreation message, where we're just kind of talking about how's life, how's your week been, or if you haven't talked to the person in a long time, what have you been up to the past 6 months, year, whatever the case may be, so you can catch up. I'm just going to read Brenda's here. So there are more general notes about my fitness journey and invites to join me than crickets. Most traction is word of mouth. Trying new program next week, nutrition only. So we will see. Okay, so I think what I'm reading from you, Brenda, is that with your posts, people aren't messaging you, or they're not commenting so much. I think that's what I'm getting from what you're saying. So it's not, I mean, sometimes you'll get people who will message you if you've been a coach for a while. I don't really see new coaches get this too much because they haven't. You need to do it for a certain amount of time to get the credibility with the majority of your audience. That is my experience. So you do need to do the one-on-one invites where you're reaching out to them. Yeah, likes only, that's fine. Sometimes I still get likes only, and that's fine. Like, that's not a bad thing. Interaction is interaction. Them taking the time to like it. Think about when you're scrolling on Facebook. You know, you're sitting in front of the TV at night, you're kind of bored, you're scrolling on your phone. How many times do we even stop to read a post or like it? Not that often. If you take the time to comment it, you have really liked that post. It has really grabbed you in some way. So comments are fantastic. Don't get me wrong. If you can get comments, great. But likes are just as good in my opinion, because they actually took the time to slow down the scroll to like it. That's important. So you can reach out for somebody who's liked the post. They don't have to have commented on it. Like, hey, thanks so much for liking my post about my transformation with 80-day obsession. That really means a lot to me. I felt really a little nervous posting that on Facebook, and I really appreciate the support. And then same thing. What made you like the post? You know, ask the questions. So don't worry so much about how they're engaging. If they're engaging at all, that's fantastic. And you can go straight off of a cold invite too. That's more than often, for every like you get on a post, there's 100 other people that saw it and that were interested and that didn't like. For whatever reason, they were scrolling really quickly and they still went, wow, that's amazing, and they keep scrolling. Sometimes people don't want to like it because they are afraid that you're going to reach out to them. It's true. This happens because they're like, oh, they're going to reach out and I'm scared and I'm not ready to make that commitment in their minds, and they keep scrolling. I've had people message me like 4 years later and they're like, hey, I've been following your journey for like X amount of years and you inspire me every day. And I'm like, you have never liked or commented on anything I've ever posted. What? So don't let that fact that they only liked it, that's a good thing. It's amazing how many people are watching who don't even hit the like button, who are impressed, who would like to get involved, who until you message, you won't even know that they were interested. Sometimes what I do, because I usually add 3 to 5 new Facebook friends a day. And then I go through my Facebook list and I'll message people every day. Sometimes it's a follow-up from somebody I've messaged years ago or a few months ago, or sometimes it's one of the newbies. And sometimes when it's one of my follow-ups from people a few years ago, it'll be something like, hey, oh my gosh, I've been following your 80-day obsession journey and you look great. You got to tell me more about what you're doing. And I'm like, you could have messaged me that, but they won't. And this is why we have to bridge that gap and make that invitation happen. And sometimes it's not even an invitation. It's often they'll ask me, because I'm so frequent and consistent in my posting, that they'll ask me questions. I just had to say, hi, how's your day going? And they go, hey, I've been having a great day. You look freaking great. What have you been doing? And it's like, oh, okay, great. I didn't even need to do anything. So that happens sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. But it's something to realize that it's part of the inviting process. So always dive into the invitations one-on-one. Likes are fantastic. Comments are great. Any engagement is awesome. So I'm gonna reel it back in and get back to leverage. So we've been posting, we've been messaging people. How do we leverage? So with Autumn's group, that's exciting. It's got a deadline. It's got very specific rules to get into that group. So the first thing you want to do, you're talking to your invite, you invite them to 80-day obsession, you deal with any objections that they might have. And guys, if you're curious about how to deal with objections, I've covered this in my previous coach tip videos. So just, search Amanda Rose and those videos will pop up. I'll put them in the comments when this is done. But we've messaged them, we've gone through objections, they're interested, they want to get involved. Great. Guys, I'm so excited. I'm actually going to be in Autumn Calabrese's group that's coming up. It's obsessed with coaching, and she's going to be bringing in like the cast members, whoever's available once a week, to do a live workout with us. She's going to be doing prizes. She's going to be getting guest speakers on. It's going to be amazing. Why don't you join me for that group? It doesn't cost anything extra, and it's going to be amazing. Of course, they're going to say yes. They want to get in for that. And when I say it doesn't cost anything extra, guys, they just have to get a challenge pack. The challenge pack waives the coach sign-up fee, and then they'll get their invite to get into that group. So that is the method to use to get into that. It gives you set parameters, because you can go like, the importance of getting them started at that time so they get in that group. So you go like, the qualification period's up until April 23rd. So you can get into that group up until then. But you and we're going to want to go through a little obsessed the week before just to prep you for the full program. So let's make sure that we get you signed up and ready, set a date so that they're going to have their equipment and everything in time to start that the week before. So something like April 15th, something like that. I'm not looking at a calendar, so that might be not a good date, but just throwing it out there. So that's what we're going to want to do, is really engage with them, get them excited about it, get it so they're like, they want to do it, and then Then throw out the fact that they can join in with Autumn herself and just buff up the group. Buff up how amazing this group has been. Tell them, like, I was in the coach test group and that group was amazing. We have 43,000 coaches who are pressing play every day, who are lifting each other up, who are persevering through hardship. Autumn was posting these amazing videos for us, helping us through all of our challenges, answering our questions, getting us through this. And this next group, she's taken it up to a whole new level. So I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be in that group and I want you to join me. Boom. Like it's something where it's not hard after that point. Now, because we are bringing up the coach thing and some people are like, whoa, being a coach sounds scary. And think about it. When you were thinking about becoming a coach, you probably had a lot of like fears and reservations and you were like, do I need to be certified to do this? Do I need to be a nutritionist? Walk them through this. Like, for one, they don't actually have to run the business unless they want to. I always say that. And you might be like, why? Why wouldn't you encourage to run the business? Well, how many people started off as discount coaches that are now like superstar coaches? So don't be afraid to introduce them that way. The other thing is, guys, in the Obsessed About Coaching group, we're going to be talking about coaching a lot in a very professional manner. They're going to be introduced to it a lot just through that. So that's going to be a really nice way to ease them in. So that's kind of the way just to make them feel comfortable getting through the sign up process. Now, I always say, like, you don't have to run it unless you want to. I will encourage them. I'll be like, I think you would be amazing at it, but if it's something you're not ready to do, you don't actually have to do anything. There are no obligations. So it's just one of those things that takes the pressure off. You can still talk about it, and a lot of the times you'll be surprised that they'll go, you know what, that actually sounds like that could be a lot of fun. Tell me more. If your team has a coach sneak peek coming up, you can always invite them into that to learn a little bit more about how coaching works, how the, payment plan works, how we actually like reach out to people, invitations and all that kind of stuff. So, you can approach it however you feel comfortable. If you want to dive in for the, like, you should run the business aspect, go for that. But you've always got the fallback of, you know what, just sign up to get in Autumn's group. And then, if you change your mind later, great. But if not, like, you don't have to run the business. So just give yourself that option to throw that out there if they're on the fence, because most people are a little bit nervous at first because coach sounds really official. You can call it be a VIP customer if you want, because that's technically what we are. Coaches are just people who love the products and really want to pay it forward and help other people enjoy it just as much. So that's a really good way to put it at the end of the day. So that's kind of the main process of leveraging. Get them interested first, but then really hit home on this group and when it's starting and the deadlines and the qualifications and all that stuff, so that they know that they got a boogie. Maybe they're like, I need my next paycheck, but I'm signing up after that. Well, great. Let me know what day that is. I'll reach out and I'll walk you through the process. Boom. Set yourself up for success with that, because you can leverage it to get a lot of people on board who are on the fence. Because it's really exciting to get to work with Autumn. It's a rare opportunity. This group was really rare. I was really surprised when she said she was running another one. And you can just use that to your advantage to help more people get started on 80-Day Obsession. Because when you get to actually interact with, most people are like celebrity trainer, right? So getting them in that group so that they get that experience, that's really exciting for people. So use that as you're talking to them as being a really exciting thing. Tell them the thing you're most excited about from that group and just share that passion. That's going to be the best thing you can do. So I hope this video was helping get you to think outside of the box with it when it comes to inviting, to go for it when you talk to people about jumping on board with you to get an Autumn's group, to getting new coaches on your team. Again, don't worry if they're just signing up as a discount coach at first. That's okay. Most people who sign up as a discount coach get excited about the business at some point because they see your team succeeding, they see you succeeding, they see all these people who are like changing their lives, and then they end up wanting to get involved as well because they go, why not me too? So anyways, hope that was helpful, and I will talk to you guys later. Have an awesome day. Bye.